Okay. So this week on the podcast of All of the Above, I have an amazing guest on. She is an entrepreneur in the wellness sector and a big advocate of self-love, body positivity, and in the yoga industry. She was recently on The Apprentice and is the one and only Maura Rath.
Oh, thank you. What an intro.
I'm telling you, how are you?
Oh, thank you for having me into your beautiful studio. I love
Thanks
it.
so much. I have been dying to get you on, but even to have a conversation with you for how long
Yes.
now? When we first connected,
We've been passing ships for a while, different
We
events
have.
and different bits and bobs.
yeah. And I've been dying to just sit down. And then since my podcast came back, I was like, will you please come on?
Oh, I was so grateful when you asked me. So I'm delighted. Now you're going to have to stop me because I will overshare or talk too much.
Well, you're in the right space
Yes,
here
I
because
love it.
everything goes here. And I am the biggest chatterbox as well. I feel the two of us are going to be pinging off each other.
And you
like
were
no
just telling me
tomorrow.
you're a Cancerian as well. So here we go, girl.
Oh, I'm telling you. So take me on a little journey for our listeners all about you. And especially you're a big advocate, like I said, about body positivity. You talked about even like being bullied and diet culture and everything like that over the years. But where did your path begin when you started to go into the wellness sector and yoga? What was that turning point for you that you were like, I need to go on a different journey now?
Yeah, geez, that's a big question. There's like, people say that like you, like yoga found me. And as cheesy as that sounds, I suppose it would be like I was a party girl, and it's
Were
still,
you?
oh my God. And it's still
You
in
were
me.
365 potty girl.
Yeah, honestly. And I was wild. Like, and I'm still a bit wild. My friends are like, was wild? No, if you get me going, but I'm wild in a different way now.
Okay.
So like, as we go to college, I was someone that never did any fitness. I was the girl that always had her period when PE was on. Like, I just wasn't that good at sports, and I just felt like I wasn't into GAA. That was what my school was all about. So I just avoided it. Love my swimming. Love that kind of stuff, kind of like solo sports. Love the odd bit of basketball. I'm going off on one now, but literally didn't do any movement. Then I was and I was naturally quite slim. And then I would say, 15, 16, I started to notice weight would come on and off me. Started to realize if I didn't eat for a day, I could get skinny to fit into something. And I was going back and forth this for ages. And then when I was about 21, I left Ireland, just finished college. And I was like, right, I'm going to go off my travels. Went to New Zealand. I started to run because you know what? Running makes you skinny. Well, this is what I thought anyway.
Yeah.
So I was always running. And then one of my friends was like, Maura, and so I would be like, out at the weekend, feel like shit, go for a run, and then I'd feel good again. And I was like, kind of love that high that you got from exercise and not just on a night out. Then that happened, and I was literally with one of my friends out there, and she was like, do you want to come to a hot yoga class? Back then it was called Bikram. We don't call it Bikram anymore. And I was like, yeah, grand. Okay, it's 40 degrees. She's like, you sweat buckets. Like, it's great for getting skinny. I was like, sweet. Hook me up,
Yeah.
right? So went and did it. My first class. After the class, vomited. Didn't like that part. And I was like, holy shit, like, this is amazing. Like, I sweated buckets, but I also felt this, like, good feeling in my body. So for maybe a couple of years, I kind of was just doing loads of yoga, loads of fitness in New Zealand. That was what it's all about, their movement. But it was all about just trying to get into a smaller body. And it's really interesting. People often say to me, about yoga, they're like, how, I don't like yoga. And I'm like, you haven't found the right teacher.
Yeah.
So for years, I was doing it for my body shape, and my body size. And then I went to this teacher, shout out Lizzie, this gorgeous teacher, and I went to her class and something shifted in her class. Something about like, it was a little bit more spiritual. It was still like a steamy, sweaty vinyasa. And it was just that she explained yoga in a way to me that was like, it's about connecting to your body, feeling like you and your body, not like a passenger that's just going, and just like loving yourself. And like at the end of the class, I had this most beautiful shavasana. I had like my first cry, and I was just like, oh my God, Lizzie, like, what was that? And she was like, that's yoga, Maura, really connected, got obsessed with her, would go to her class like 5 times a week, every studio she was teaching, and I was there. And then at this time, I'm fast forwarding, I was in my mid-20s, I was working in a corporate job. I loved the girls and the job. We'd go out all together. I was with them like 6 years. Like we had the crack. It was a great salary. We were just saying before the podcast, traveling is one of my personalities,
Yeah,
one of my
same.
values.
Like
So
big.
I was traveling the world from New Zealand. I was in Fiji, Bali, all these places, and I had a good salary.
Yeah.
But like, I was the girl that was first out of the office and last in the office every day. Get me to my yoga. And I was only in my like late 20s, and I was like, or mid 20s, and I was like, is this it? Like, is this it? Do I just like go look for a husband now, do a job that, yeah, gives me a good, but it doesn't lift me up. And like I felt nothing from my work other than the salary. So, but when I went to yoga, I was like, holy shit, this is like something. And this was back in 2016 kind of time. And I go back to Ireland, and like yoga wasn't really a thing here. There was people practicing, and there was studios.
It wasn't as much as a community as it is now,
No.
especially with mental health, with like, being in your body and the wellness space as well. It's totally changed. I definitely think since COVID.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So long story, Lizzie, I was like, Lizzie, where did you train? I need to go there. So Lizzie told me she trained in India. I just copied her. I was like, I'm going to your school.
Copy and paste.
Yeah. And at that time I was like, I don't want meditation. Like I just want the strength, flexibility, feel whole, my body. Went on a whole journey, eat, pray, love to India, and, shedded tears, realized meditation is a practice that I avoided, but it's the one that I needed the most.
Yeah.
And it brought me on a journey with my body, and I still today, I'm 8 years since then, practicing and teaching. Like I'm still on the journey of the body, right? Like there's days where, you wake up and you're like, you feel like, you feel fat. It's ridiculous. Why have you got fat
I'm in
fear?
that today. I'm literally in that today.
And you're like, oh, I look fat. And like, why have you got fat fear?
Yeah.
Like, so I was just saying, like, I'm trying to call out this diet culture. I'm trying to heal myself by sharing the message. And sometimes I'm like, what the hell am I doing? So that's just a little bit of how I got to that. That's kind of like the body.
Yeah.
But like I always say to people, like if you are like, oh, I don't like yoga, like any kind of movement can be your yoga.
Yeah.
But keep trying till you find your teacher.
100%, because I can relate so much with your journey and my own journey. It's so similar. For me, I remember I did Bikram. So I would have been I would have been heavier when I was younger, and I lost weight from like Weight Watchers. I wasn't educated on food, anything like that. So then lost weight. Then from that, I felt I had to punish myself through exercise to look a certain way because, back then, I think growing up in the Y2K era, if you were over a size 10, like you were fat.
Absolutely.
And that's just the way it was. Like you were fat, you were labeled that as well. So my exercise for me, it was really good for my head space, but I wanted to punish myself. I had to be HIIT training. I had to hit amount of calories. I had to sweat.
Everything
running.
fast.
All about external. And then for me, I'd say around COVID time, I started to go internal and work on the inner self instead of, a lot of people think it's just physical, but I worked on my mental, my emotional, and my spiritual, the other three. Because we're made up of the four.
I know this is like excites me starting to talk about this stuff.
Because I was so obsessed with how I looked on the outside and the scales all the time, and then measuring my worth off my weight.
Yeah.
And I did yoga a few times, Bikram, and I think I had PTSD because the smell of feet of that studio.
Yeah. It's just the smell of feet.
Yeah, because the studios have changed. Like these were like 10, 15 years ago, but I was doing it exactly like you. I want to move my body, but I just want to sweat. I want to detox. I want to just feel skinny.
But you also felt amazing after.
I felt
and
amazing
you felt
after.
flexible,
I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
But then it hit, I'd say around COVID time, I was like, I just want to quiet my mind, and I don't know why I'm going to yoga again, but I just want a little bit of peace and to be more in my body instead of do this machine, do this HIIT workout, go, 500 calories. So I found a studio, and I could never quiet my mind. And I don't know I think every one of us is neurodivergent and ADHD.
Absolutely.
Definitely. I know I am.
Yeah, I know I am.
But I was like, how do I quiet my mind with, I was after going into my mindfulness. So I went in, and that's when you find the teachers exactly like you. But I had this inner calling all the time going, just do a yoga teacher course or training. And I don't know why. I just felt I had to do it. I get these intuitions, these little glimmers. And I did it last February. I was supposed to do it in Sri Lanka with you, where there, and then when it came, it was all booked out, so I had to go back to Bali. And I was there previously when I was in a relationship, whatever. So I had to go back to Bali to do my yoga teacher training. So, anyways, fast forward, I'm in the yoga course. There's about 30 people there, all about size 6 to an 8 that could literally get themselves in pretzels. I'm only just really starting out to get into my yoga practice of a few months.
Yeah.
Breakdown crying every second day. I was the curviest girl there. And then I remember one time a teacher brought me to the side and she said to me, "Why are you here?" And she was like, "I want you to think of that.
Yeah.
What is your why? Why are you here?" And I had my journal and I used to journal on the balcony. And I found out my why I felt that was because the negative self-talk and all the words and the house I lived in, I wanted to break down and start and rebuild a foundation.
Yes. Yeah.
Because, you know, I felt that because I was a size 12, 14, I couldn't do yoga.
No,
I'm too fat.
It's so
why would
wild.
I
And,
be doing that?
You know, I'm very conscious that, like, you know, I'm a size 12, but people are like, "You're not a size 12."
Yeah.
Because I'm taller, so there's a bit of an illusion there, you know, and you've got a bit more height.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting, and I feel like, you know, us girls in your size 6, 8, 10 showing up to yoga class, it's not what yoga's about.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's what happens, you know. But I'm really trying to build this like inclusive, like to show people it's nothing to do with your size. And when you can disconnect from your size and connect to how you feel, that's when the magic happens. And like, it took me, even as a teacher, the first like maybe 2 years of teaching up to 2019, like, and 2020, everything shifted for me. You know, we all hate, like, COVID was an absolute, you know, terrible time, but also it was a blessing because
Yeah.
I had to sit with myself and I
Yeah.
had to come home, and after learning my tools, I had to put them in practice. And like, the body, it's so hard. Like, you know, now we're talking about, you know, there's a whole change, but actually, sadly, with Ozempic coming back, the Skinny-Tok and everything. I was just talking to someone a few days ago. Girls that are 14, 15 now are all trying to get smaller again.
Yeah.
So for a few years there, we're both in the same, like, trying to shout
Yeah.
it. And I sometimes feel a bit self-conscious shouting about it because I'm not that much of a plus size girl, you know, but I would be compared to other people. And I've even in the last few months like, oh, I don't know, feel, but actually this is a time we need to scream more about it because it's coming up again.
100%.
It's crazy. And we think it's done, that nothing tastes good as skinny feels. Like, this whole TikTok era of Skinny-Tok is terrifying.
Yeah.
And it's happening now in 2026.
And like, even going back to the likes of, would you have been bullied in school?
No, I actually wasn't. I wasn't bullied in school.
Or
No.
what thoughts then would you have thought around your weight
Well,
then?
I wouldn't have been bullied, but I
Or
was
bullying yourself?
Yeah, well, actually, like, I was like always like 2 foot over every boy, right?
Okay.
So I was never I was so tall. I've been this height since I've been about like 12. So like every, you know, like, it's just so ridiculous. Sounds like I'm just mad for men. You know, at that age and everyone's like, you know, meeting and getting.
Yeah.
I was like, no one wanted to kiss more. And
Yeah.
because I was way bigger than all the boys. So it gave me a little bit of a complex.
Yeah.
And my lovely granddad, God rest his soul, would always say, Maura's got great childbearing hips. And like, people would say
They
that.
loved saying
I like
that.
mad
Like,
stuff because I have wide hips. Oh, she'll be no problem. She's like, my mom has wide hips, and say, and that would get in on me. And because
Yeah.
I was so tall with all my girlfriends, I would hunch over like this. So it was like a whole thing with my body. And even though like I looked like slim, I was always a bigger size. So I was so caught up on the sizing. But it's so mad how you can
Yeah.
treat your body. Like, even like, you know, that different times of the cycle now, like, it's daily. Like, I have a voice there that I have to call out.
Oh.
Maybe I just need more need therapy. I don't know, but like,
No, I think it's hormones, girl, as well. Like,
Yeah.
I have my period now, and I wanted to get up, I wanted to go and just do a little bit of movement and go to the sauna. I couldn't. Between the full moon, I was having sweats last night. I got to sleep at 4 a.m. I was rolling around the bed, and I said the old Emma would have got up and punished herself. Where now I'm kinder. I lay in bed, I had my cup of tea, I took a moment, and then I'm allowed to show up now.
Yeah.
So What is the difference then, how you've changed your mindset around your negative self-talk and your body image? Like how do you, no, we have that all the time.
So
This is the thing, but how do
yeah.
you get through that?
So I probably didn't even know that it was negative self-talk.
Yeah.
So that I would have a toxic mind just thinking that it was normal to want to be smaller. It was normal to count your calories for every single meal. I know this is some people's normal now because they're like, but now I'm eating to fuel and to connect with my body. And like, you know, I have a soft belly, I have soft rolls, and it's like changing the voice. I'm like, aren't I so lucky that I can squish my tummy? I know that sounds so ridiculous. And like these kind of like putting things into perspective and like calling it out, you know. And I just see online, like, is this, I feel like the social media is the biggest gift, right? I wouldn't be able to do what I love every day without it. I think it's really important to acknowledge that. And like even this conversation, you know, it might affect whoever today. Like social media is the gift of that. But then there's a whole other dark side of it. Comparison, you know, seeing what other people like have, and like that's all from your own insecurity if you can't watch that, and like trying to be smaller and seeing like, you know, the Zara models, God, don't even go into Zara and sizing. And it's just, for me, I've totally missed your question there. Go on, Emma, tell me. Oh my God. I'm actually nervous here today. I'm usually not nervous. I don't know.
So Maura said she feels she's like in a therapy session because I've my glasses and my notebook on. But no.
I think it's just like New Year. Like I feel like I'm blabbing on a bit now.
No, but I feel like that because even when I was recording my other 2 episodes as well, because I'm trying to get back into the groove of things. Like I'm nervous. If you wouldn't be, so like we're in it together. We're in the nervous scene. So talking about your negative self-talk and especially showing up online, we were talking about. Do you think that's healing you by showing up as your vulnerable, authentic self?
100%. And like to answer your question there, the only time that I don't think about my body like getting smaller and how I absolutely love my body and I'm like, yes, is when I'm in my yoga practice, whether that's my meditation, whether that's my strong, sweaty vinyasa flow that I, you know, doing every day. I feel like a superwoman when I'm practicing and I love that. And then I get home and, you know, I eat the fridge because I'm hungry and that's what you're supposed to do, you know, when you're hungry. And then I'm after eating loads of food because I'm starving. And then this guilt voice comes in. And it's like, God, did you really need to have this? You could have waited for dinner. And I was like, no, actually, you're hungry. And then I look in the mirror and it'll happen again, but I'm calling it out. And actually, since I started to share these random little things,
your little videos on
my
Instagram,
little videos
I
on
love.
Women are messaging me and they're like, you know, I needed to hear that today. Like, and I'm like, fuck yeah. Oh my God, I'm swearing on your podcast.
You're allowed. All of the above, girl.
You know, that's that. If I'm helping one person every time I make a video like that and I feel like awkward, embarrassed, mortified to share it, in the famous words of Kim Kardashian is post and ghost. Know what they say?
Post and ghost. I never heard
Not that I'm a fan of hers now, but
she does have some good one-liners.
I do, you know, there's definitely like her business mind. Post and ghost. So put it up there and then don't look.
And like when it comes to even, have you found social media changing? Obviously, it's amazing for your business. But how do you deal with anything negative on there, especially trying to show up like you're so positive, you're always full of light, you always have beautiful energy. How do you protect yourself towards that?
Do you know, I think it's like a Cancerian thing as well.
Oh,
like
hard on the outside, soft on the inside.
Like I will get all
We're both Cancerians, guys.
Yeah, and it's like and I was even saying like, you know, normal people that have different jobs than us don't get validation for their job all the time, right?
Yeah.
It's okay for people to disagree with me and say whatever they want. But when someone hits you with like this little comment, like I had this girl and she was like, why are you coming for all the skinny people? Like this whole thing about, she was like, you know, you're skinny shaming people that are skinny. And like, it's everything what my message is not about, because I have so many friends that are in tiny bodies and they still feel the body insecurities. So just like I'm very blessed. I have a beautiful community online, but I do obviously get the odd, you know, yourself.
Like all of us. Yeah. But even me, like I used to share a lot more of my body years ago when I was really in like the fashion hub of it all.
I need you to dress me. I can't dress myself.
Don't you
have
worry.
Gorgeous fashion.
Thanks. But I've gotten a lot more. I don't want to show my body as much. You'll see me maybe in my gym gear, the odd bikini if I'm away, but I don't feel I need to. Where before I felt I was looking for validation.
Yeah.
Do you get me? Instead of a message. with people. And now if I have a message and I want to spread that in that moment, like what you do as well, I do that then, not to get validated, but to make people feel less alone and give them support in their own mind. Because I feel even now as a woman, and like we're changing all the time, we have 4 different weeks of the month. Like, you know, half the year you're only getting good, Emma. Like,
yeah. And you know what? It's our biggest superpower as well. And like, I feel like, you know, there's so much dread around the period, right? And I've even just said it here, oh, the week you're bleeding. But actually, like, that's your inner wise woman week. So you actually get your best. Like, this is why that we like can, you know, compete with men very well, because they have like a 24-hour cycle, right? We have a
called testosterone.
Yeah. So it's up and down. But like, we have like a whole week, and there's this gorgeous girl called Kate Gaffney. I met her on a retreat years ago, and she changed my life with my cycle. But even like, I'm trying to like, you know, like your period week now, this is a time where you're not supposed to be too busy, even though you're probably at your busiest week.
I'm chock-a-block.
Yeah. And that's how life goes.
It's just because it's January.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need more chocolate this week.
Oh, I had a whole dairy milk last night.
Yeah,
you
need more meditation. You need more time on yourself. It's fascinating. Like, even with the cycle, like, do you ever get that week where you're like texting everyone to make plans? Your ovulation week.
Oh, and I'm in the gym pumping it out. Like, I am feeling my best self.
Superwoman.
Like, yeah,
you know, you're in your Beyonce mode.
Yeah.
And then you stupidly, like me, plan all these when you're PMSing.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks. So you need to be smarter. Like, work with her. You know?
Work smarter, not harder.
That's
Because even that as well, like, I know we'll actually touch on moon cycles now, because I'm all about talking about things like that. It's so funny because obviously we have a 12-month year, but it used to be 13 months, and it's in our cycle, 28 days. That's our moon cycle. That's why women, we are like ruled by the moon. So when people say, oh, I think that's a load of woo woo, that's fine. Everyone can have their own stance. I've no problem.
But they're wrong.
But even like that, like we were talking about the year of the snake for anyone who's into like zodiac, Chinese, like star signs. I'm mad for all this. Yeah. And the last 9 years, I feel like I haven't had a break. I'm just like, can I just have a break? So it was the year of the snake shed skin. So then it was a full moon there on Saturday. Yeah. It was in Cancer, and I got my period.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we are bringing that energy in. Like, I'm a red witch energy.
That's it. And like, isn't it technically the Chinese year? It doesn't start for another couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I'm already in my horse year. I'm saying giddy up. That's like my chant for this year. Giddy up. But like it's so interesting talking to so many people. Like 2025, I had some amazing moments in it.
Yeah, same.
But like, they say that was the year to shed, right?
Oh, I shed
it all, let it go. And the next couple of weeks, we're bringing our 2026 into.
Oh, sure. Even I was only talking, it was the first year, New Year's Eve, I sat in ever. I always went out. I felt I had to celebrate. And someone was like, oh, I think it's because you have a boyfriend. But it's not even that. I'm at a place where I'm so content with my own company, myself. I sat in, the fireworks went off, and I literally just started crying in my apartment, and the window was open. And I was like, I always get so emotional. But for me, it was like, I'm ready to let go of that year and all that I've left behind. And I have a gift of celebrating another year and being around the whole.
I love that. And it's so beautiful.
I get to do this, and I get to let go. And it was like this cleansing of those fireworks being let off, the sparks. Like, that's the end. Where's the new beginning?
Yeah, I love that. That's beautiful. That's really, really nice. You know, and I just feel like there's such, like, for people to feel secure in their body. Like, I know so many people in their mind, you've got full confidence in yourself to feel that, you know, and not a lot of people can say that they felt that on New Year's Eve, you know, the excitement of it.
But I lived for so long. Would you say you're the same? I lived for so long in my head, the majority of my life in my head, my thoughts, my body, my weight was my worth. I had to be this size. Yeah. Like, how did you get to a point where you're like, I'm done with this?
Yeah, and like, I'll always bring it back to yoga, because literally it saved me, you know, and like, saved me from what? I suppose it's like society as well. Like, that's what we're listening to all the time, and we're bringing it out there, and we're like, okay, I should do this, should do that. And that's what happens. Like, for me, like, it's an ongoing battle. I'm on this little battle at the moment, Emma, where like, motherhood, right? Okay. So I'm getting like,
how old are you?
I'm 36. So like,
because you've talked about this a little bit on social media as well.
And it's like, I'm in this battle where I'm like, you know what, I do feel like it's in my path. I get like, as you said, glimmers that I feel like I will be a mother. I'm definitely a mother to my dog already. And I've always known I'd have that.
Yeah.
And I just feel like this, and I haven't felt this like for years, this like, I don't know if I'm ignoring signs, it's like a little bit of pressure. And I'm like, is it because TikTok, you know, it's starting to happen. I have lots of people that are close to me that are younger and older and they're going through IVF. And I'm like, oh, you know, will I do it? Will I not? And I just feel like my brain can go through this, you know, like spirals of it. And then I'm like, what am I doing? And I know this sounds so ridiculous, but I literally throw my mat out, get a down dog for 5 minutes.
And get out of your head.
Get out of your head. And I'm like, no, this is your life. It'll happen. Trust in the universe.
Yeah.
When you know, I don't want to like, you know, and then people are like, oh, just relax or whatever. I'm like, I'm not trying. But also when you know your cycle, you're like, if you have unprotected sex at that time, you're literally trying.
I know. And
so this could be another podcast.
I know, because I'm at that space as well. And I touched on it on one of my episodes, all about, do I want children?
Yeah.
And I would have wanted them a few years ago. And then I went through a space of, oh, I'm unsure. And now I would like a child, but I am 40 this year.
Yeah.
So I only have a few years, and I think I'm going into perimenopause as well. I will have a mental breakdown, I'd say, in the next few weeks.
No, you
it's
won't.
a lot.
You're not putting that out for 2026, girl.
No,
this is
but
amazing.
I'm
They say
allowed to have-
40, everything gets easier.
No, not that. Just with like so much change happening in my life.
Yeah.
I'm allowed release. I'm allowed to have a cry. I'm allowed to sit with it. I'm allowed know I'm changing in that sort of way, not mental breakdown.
Yeah.
So I'll reframe that word, because it's going to be because I'm...
You're reacting to your feelings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to do that. But even it's like I'm on these two sides of, yes, I would like a family and a child, but I did say this, I wouldn't want to do it on my own.
Yeah.
And I have really confirmed that. And then the other side is like, would I be content without a child and okay? So I'm kind of in this little space where I kind of have to like
and
go
like meet
with
your
it.
sister, and
You
I'll
know
be
that
honest
way?
with you, like I know that I love my life, that I actually do
Yeah.
feel I would be content. And you know, when you see things, people are like, oh, you don't know what the feeling is until you have kids. And I'll probably eat my humble words now. But I do believe that if you have done the work, you have like more to life than for someone else. You know, I have people that are close to me that are in relationships since they're 15. And like, I am so secure that I love myself. I love my body. And I love the life that I've created, that I know I could live a happy life. And then there's the other side is like, oh, I built this beautiful life. Maybe I want to share it.
Yes.
You know, so it's, I don't think there's a wrong answer there.
It's like a catch-22.
Yeah.
You're in that space of...
It's two different lives.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a big thing for me is, and I think you're quite similar, what I've been going through the last, I'd say, maybe year, especially getting into a new relationship and then really feeling content with being single. And then all these changes in my life, and similar to yourself, it's learning to get a little bit comfortable with the unknown.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like living that in that grey area, that unknown. Will
and
I,
are you a
won't
big
I?
planner? Like I'm a planner.
I
I'm like,
would, yeah.
Like I like
would
things
be.
really clear, my business, da, da, da.
Yeah.
And this is not something you can plan for.
No. And
You know, because even if you do decide, say you're a lover now, and you're like, boom, let's go for it, you know, and we're going to try for a baby, and you're like, yeah, and you've made that decision. It might not just happen.
Exactly.
And then that's like, fuck, you know, so it's a whole thing.
Or something could change where, I don't know, I could come to a point where I'm like, oh, I don't know, I'm afraid. Yeah, I'm scared shitless. Don't get me wrong. Because a lot of people would say, oh, would you I remember I talked about this, about freezing my eggs.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to do that right now, but I know that could change all the time.
Yeah.
I think every year we're constantly changing as women, and there's a lot of pressure out there that we have to do a certain thing by a certain age and do this and do this. And one thing I'm learning, and probably yourself, is you have to go off your own timeline, your own manual,
100%.
put some blinkers on. And yes, you can take in the information, but don't let that really mold your needs and your wants.
It's so interesting because I absolutely agree with you. And I think that the more work, and people say, what do you mean do the work?
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, what
is
do
that
people
for you?
feel like? You know, we would say this, do the work. Like, what's the work?
Yeah.
The work is doing things that make you feel good in your body. This is my understanding of it. So for me, that's my yoga. If that's not your yoga and you're not into yoga, you haven't found the right teacher. But maybe that's your reformer. Maybe that's your running. Maybe that's your gym. But we have to move. Movement is medicine. I don't care what you say. If you are someone that can't move much, we'll do a chair yoga, breathe, you know. I just think when you can move your body, move it. And as you know, like you go out to nature, you have a walk, everything just seems a little bit more, you know, you're like, oh, shit, what was I
Bliss.
thinking?
I love it.
So I just think like us having these conversations that like, you know, we didn't get married at 22. We're not having babies at 25. We're not like buying a house at 28. You know, all these things you think, or you're doing that from 30 or 40, you're going to start your family. It's okay to do it differently.
Yeah.
And it's okay to
Yeah.
be shit scared that you're going to miss your old life, which is just sitting at home by yourself in peace.
Yeah. Or you can. This is the thing where
Yeah.
I was talking to my mom about it. And before I met like my boyfriend now, like regardless of that, I was like, I'm ready to live at home with a few cats, like a dog, like I'm boxed off. Like at this rate, I'll be living in a shed out my mom's back garden with
Oh,
the
we
rate
won't
of the
even go
houses.
there.
Like, don't talk to me about housing crisis. Honestly, I'll be living in a Wendy house at this stage.
Yeah.
But it just was I'm learning to live in that fear, but not be led by the fear.
Yes. Oh, I love that. You need to get that on a t-shirt, get it on the wall behind you. Yeah. You know, not be led by the fear, but push into
Because
it.
what's on the other side of fear?
Joy
And love.
love. Yeah.
Love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So interesting, isn't it? Yeah. I love that. Love that. Oh, that gave me like goosebumps.
Did it? You're getting little nuggets of information here
Yeah,
now.
like I just think it's such a good message to do that, like, you know, and like I think that sometimes getting uncomfortable, like even when I started my business, like it wasn't that like one day I was like, yeah, I'm going to create this business and it's going to happen overnight. Like it was getting really uncomfortable. Like the most uncomfortable thing you can do is go on social media, like talk to a camera. Like now it comes easy because you've done it for years. But at the start, I was like, oh my God, you know, if anyone sees me from my school, like I'm mortified.
Oh, we all did.
Yeah.
Like, honestly.
Or teaching my first yoga class, I was like, I hope nobody I know comes. Like that's,
Yeah.
it's so interesting.
Even
isn't it?
I found like I teach yoga on the beach in the summertime because I do my
Yeah,
hikes in the
I've seen
winter
that.
and the yoga. But I think did you find with this, and to anyone out there, whether you're getting into yoga, fitness, exercise, or even if you have a new credential on your belt, the self-sabotage
I
is
know,
real.
it
I'm not a
is.
yoga teacher. What am I doing? What do I know about things? That inner voice. Like, how did you really start to
So-
embody your own self for your knowledge that you have learned?
Yeah, I
And
would
feel
say,
confident with yourself.
Like I know we all say, oh, fake it till you make it. And like actually, like for me as a teacher, I would say like I did all my training. I did
Yeah.
back to back 2 and 500. But actually then you're...
Did you do?
Yeah, I did.
That's a lot.
I know, it was mad. But sure, I'd never taught a class in my life. I did 300 hours. Wild. So then all of a sudden you've got to public speak, hold space, remember a sequence, look at people,
It's the wildest
demo,
thing I've ever had
not
to do.
demo, adjust all these different rules.
Alignment.
And and you're like, holy God, what am I doing? Like, what
Yeah.
am I doing? And I just think that I had a little mantra and it's like, it's so funny. I still love it. Like, and I still use it. It's like, you love it, show them how they can. So I would say that every time before I would teach a class,
Yeah.
like so simple, you love it, show them how they can. And like people feed off energy, right? So if I'm having a good time with them, if I get my left wrong or my right wrong, I just call it out.
Exactly.
You know, and I think
Exactly.
it's like, I think that's a whole thing. And like starting as a teacher is so scary, whether it's meditation or public speaking, like you're so out of your comfort zone if you've never
Yeah.
done that before.
Yeah.
And I think you just have to remember if you're coming from a good place, right? And you're teaching yoga, not because someone told you to, but actually for me, my ethos was like, if I can make people love their body and not think about, like I said, you know, the one time I love my body is on my mat, like I'm winning.
Yeah.
That's all I want to do.
Yeah, I think that's a really like brave and really empowering message as well, because I think the wellness industry at the moment, it is getting so big and there is enough to go around everywhere. But I think how people are showing up is being their authentic self. And that's
Yeah.
one of my main core values, is being authentic. Like, come on, no makeup, here's my rolls, I'm feeling shit, I'm not myself. And you said your mantra as well. One of my mantras, you said fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Mine is face it and embrace it.
Love that.
face it and embrace it. So now I'm like, we're just going to face it and embrace it.
Yeah.
And I think when you're calling yourself out, not even if you're a teacher, for anyone that's listening, it's calling yourself out on your own shit.
That's
so
it.
if you say, listen, oh my God, I actually was a bit of an arsehole there. Or do you know what? I'm really sorry. I actually was wrong there.
Yeah, I was a bit ratty actually. I reacted to this because I've actually felt insecure because
where
of
I
this.
wouldn't have done that before. I would have
Yeah.
been defensive. I have to be right. I came from my ego place. I have to be this, and this. Now I just, like the snake we shed, and I'm like, do you know what? I'm actually wrong. Sorry.
And you
about
know that there's so much freedom in that. And there's like another thing I wanted to say, Emma. It's like, you know, you came from a corporate, you were in fashion, like
I
background.
was a buyer, and then I was in business development, and very similar to yourself, like in the rat race, loved it, but I knew there was something else out there, and only for I got made redundant.
Yeah, that was your little push from the universe. Or your gift from the universe.
Honestly, like if I didn't take that, I wouldn't have had all these amazing opportunities. And I feel I'm only at the start now. This would be my 4th year, and I've so much more to give. And we're going to talk now about it because I'm dying to pick your brain. You're such a great businesswoman outside of the wellness world. And
thank you. Jeez, you know, I find
really are.
I'm now that's 2026 saying thank you. Thank you for that. Because, you know, this is something that I've battled with because...
And The Apprentice you were on. You said it gave you the ick.
That ick. You know, it's like, if we go into what yoga is, it's not business, right? So this was a little battle I had at the start. And when I left after all my training in India, I was like, I don't need money to be happy. I don't need anything.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just so happy to be at home, whatever. And I lived out of Ireland for 7 years at stage. And then I got back, I had a rude awakening. You know, you can't live off, you know, I was traveling, you know, Central America. Like, I'm in Ireland. I want to live. I want to be able to go meet my friends for a coffee or a dinner. You need money. So, you know, my business thing, and like traditionally yoga is like not for making money, right? But I feel like if I'm bringing something to Ireland that's helping people and helping myself, healing myself along the way, like it has to be good, right? You know, it absolutely, it's like a magnet.
Yeah. And how did you start off then? For people who are listening, who are wanting to start off, whether they want to do yoga, if they want to be a life coach, if they want to be a teacher in the wellness space, like how did you start off your models? Because I think you personally, from me to you now, this I'm saying this, I think you are very successful. You're definitely someone who empowers and inspires me. I love how you show up.
Oh my God,
online.
I'm mortified. I mean,
you have to sit and listen.
I've been looking at you,
have to get all my
girl.
compliments. You're able to take all this on board now. Because
Thank you.
I look at you and you definitely inspire me for what you've built. I think it's absolutely beautiful, so empowering to men, female, all ages. You do your sunrise clubbers. I'm giving you a plug. She does it once a month on the beach. And the weird thing is, years ago, I would have felt jealous. But now I'm like, wow.
Yeah, and
look
I love
at
what you said.
she has done. Like, I
There's
think it's
plenty
so
for all
inspiring.
of us.
There is plenty for all of us. So how did you start off? For people starting off, like, how do we go on this little path for anyone who wants advice on starting a business, on leaning into something that I call it my inner compass. You feel something inside guiding you towards that workshop, that retreat.
Like if that little
where do you
voice
go?
is there, like you have to listen to it. You have to scratch it. And like, you know, no one talks about all the fails. I'll give you a few of my fails
I have that down
now.
here. Your regrets and your
you know,
mistakes.
and you know what? I would say probably a couple of years ago, I would have had regrets, but now I feel like every failure has brought me to where I am. So, you know, when I came back from traveling, as I said to you there, I had a rude awakening. It's Ireland. You know, I can't live in my parents' house, you know, I loved them to pieces, but I was going mad after a couple of months, you know, starting to rent in Dublin. Now I have to say, I had worked a really good job. I had a little security. I think I had 10,000 euro saved left. So I was like, this is my little base, right? My money that I have that I will chip away on until, and that can go very quickly, you know?
Yeah.
So when I came back, I was like, right, okay, I'm going to start my own classes. I literally went around Gorey, shout out Wexford, woo. Went
love
around.
Wexford. I used to spend my summers in Curraclough.
Yeah, that's where I'm from. And my mum and dad's, I went to a local little gym there. They had a dance room. I hired it. This is like me being Delulu, right? In Gorey.
Delulu is the Salulu.
Yeah. So like we have like, there's a few gyms, not much going on. It's a beautiful place though. Best place in Ireland. I was like, right, I'm going to do 12 yoga classes a week. I'm going to be out the door. Everyone's going to come. Grand. So I went around Gorey. I posted it on my Instagram that had like 500 followers. I'm going to be sold out. Put in flyers in the doors, right? Started my first class. Literally one of the girls I still know today came to my first class. For 6 months, I'd say I had an average of 4 people. And that's not on every class, maybe 4 people a week, you know? So I had to cut down. The rent was costing me 10 times what I was making. But I had this feeling inside me and I kept saying it. I was like, I'm going to find my tribe. I'm going to find my tribe. So then I was like, right, it's not really happening in Wexford right now. I'm going to move up to Dublin. Moved up to Dublin, went to every yoga studio that I could go to. At the end of the class, I'd be like to the teacher, hey, if you want any covers, I'm a teacher. I just qualified, da, 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 da. And I was just putting myself out there. So then like one thing as a yoga teacher, I don't know if you've done much studio work, people often call in sick. Things happen. Sometimes yoga teachers are flaky, not us, right?
No.
So last minute I'd get calls from studios like, Maura, can you cover? And I was like, race across town and I'd cover. So for about two years, in 2018, 2020, I was teaching in about 20 different studios, Westwoods, everywhere. Started to grow online. I really wanted to do yoga retreats. I was like, I'm going to sell yoga retreats. My first 2 yoga retreats in Ireland and abroad, it was like hire a crowd. I got my cousins to come, my friends to come.
Yeah, you were telling me that
like
before.
They were literally costing me so much money that I was like, if I take a few pictures of people having fun at these, and people were having fun, I know that it could happen. So I have to say, from those 2 years, and I kept saying in 2019, something big is coming. Something big is coming. I got a little space in Blackrock that held 10 people. And I was like, I'm going to sell it out in the new year. I'm going to sell it out. And like, it was so, I was only in studios before this. So finally, little well space is gone now. I sold out my class. I was like, something big is coming. That's what I was saying. And I kept saying it to people. My friend, then he was my boyfriend. I was like, Bambi, something big is coming. And he was like, stop saying it. And I was like, all my classes are full. I told you.
Yeah.
Then boom, boom, boom. I was teaching a group of girls in a school in Loretto, in a private school in Dublin. Like they had yoga, me teaching them. And the teacher was like, oh, Maura, we're closing for 2 weeks. This COVID thing. Like, I don't watch the news. I was like, what? I was like, mad. And I was like, something big is coming. All my events, I had like a St. Patrick's Day retreat, had to cancel everything. Had a Greek retreat that month that had finally sold out from the year before in April. I was like, had to cancel everything. And I was like, something big is coming. All right, it's over. That's it. I was like, I've no money. It's done. And at this stage, Emma, like I was barely able to cover my rent. Like I was skint, you know, I was like, you don't get paid that much as a yoga teacher, you know, and I was renting in Dublin, as you know, was mental.
Yeah.
So I was just barely making ends meet, but I still had that belief. I was like, don't care. Don't need a house. I'm happy to rent forever. Then COVID happened. I had about 3,000 followers and I was like, you know what? Everything's going mental. What do? Go on my yoga mat. Did my own practice, put on some tunes, came on my story. It was like the Friday and I was like, guys, the world, we don't know what's happening. This is mental, but I did like 30 minutes of yoga and I feel grand. It's going to pass.
Did you do lives?
I started lives that Monday.
I did one. I used to do them.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
So that was a Friday. I made an IGVT. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That one of those. I made a video. I was like, guys, I'm going to do, because I put it on my story and loads of people started sharing it. That weekend, I grew 10,000 followers because all these people were going to join my live on Monday.
Yeah, you were giving back to a community that we were all in this bubble together.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, this is what yoga's about. So on Monday, for 13 weeks, I gave free yoga twice a day, 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. through that whole first lockdown. And it was like my absolute saving grace because I very close to my family and friends, need them all the time, and suddenly I can't leave my house. So it kept me going. It kept lots of people going. And then like it was like it was so amazing to do that at the time. But it's so interesting how a couple of comments, we were talking about negativity. You know, I did get a few yoga teachers at that time contact me and make videos about me. What did they say? It was so subtle that I was devaluing yoga by giving it out free. So that really hurt me. No, well, even though like victim, like I was.
This is your thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, obviously, there was probably like some form of. Like, I know yoga can be a sacred thing, but it's an exercise. It can be whatever you want it to be.
100%.
So
like,
I think that's just a bit of a jealous take.
It was a
on
whole
that.
thing. And like me being so, like 2 or 3 people made a few comments.
You're allowed to show up how you want to show up.
100%. And this is when people weren't really doing it. So it's mad how that, and then like hundreds of people, thousands of people were doing my yoga, and you get a little comment, you're like, oh, stop. So then it was June. We thought the world was open. And, you know, I was like, okay, this has been amazing. How do I continue? So my online studio was born from then.
Yeah.
So it was the biggest blessing from COVID.
Yeah.
And I've have the same yogis with me since then.
Yeah, because you have your January reset on now.
Yeah, 5th one running.
Yeah.
Which is mad. I had the first one in 2021. And, you know, I've new people, they come, they go, they drop for a while, they join in for a challenge. And it's been the biggest gift. But like what I'm not sharing there is I invested in an app that failed. You know, I lost a lot of money on an app.
Yeah.
You know, I think you got to, I'm a little bit, not a gambler. That's bad to say and that could be triggering for people. But I love just trying new things in business.
Yeah.
And I love stepping into my fear. Like I'll try. I invested
I'm
in
in
this
that
app.
at the moment. I have to. I'm like, oh, I feel sick, but you have to, don't you?
You have to. And like you learn from every failure I've had, I've learned from. And like, you know,
Yes.
money isn't a thing that I like talking about. I think Irish people, we don't like talking about, but like
agree.
we need to put, you know, getting a fucking Aldi shop now is €100. Like it's,
Yeah.
you know, but it's something that I've had to like build confidence with. I'm okay to charge for my services.
Yeah.
I am a business, even though yoga with Maura is also me.
Yeah. And it's, I think a big thing as well is knowing your value and what it is. So when I first went into a space of whether I was doing my hikes or anything like that and giving back, because when I do yoga on the beach, I don't charge. It's like a community thing. But there is a place with my other things that I do charge, because at the end of the day, like you have credentials, you have value,
You've
your
put
time,
hours of
your
training
energy,
you've invested
your
in.
prep. Like, you know, it's all these things that sometimes people might not see. You know, for you showing up to your sunrise clubbers, like you're after doing like a flow, putting that together, driving
Yeah.
there, being there for like, let's say 4 hours all
And I
in,
love
and
that
it's
you
free.
like to do, and you have to charge for your services. And I love
Well,
that you
I'm
like
at a
to
place
give
like I'd
free
want
one.
to this year, and like you only talked about a while ago about covering. So
Yeah.
for me, I'm at a place regarding say like yoga. I love my practice and it's really sacred for me for the bubble I'm in. Right now, I'm not too sure if I want to teach. I love it doing it in the summertime or at my retreats when I do them, which I want to do more of this year, guys. Springtime.
Maybe you're a seasonal teacher.
I'm a seasonal
Yeah.
teacher, yeah, because, and then it's coming to terms with my own self. Like, I don't have to be one thing all the time. I can be all of the above.
Yes.
And, but it is obviously a belief thing for me. And I remember in the studio I'm in, they're amazing. And every single teacher is so different. And I love them all. Like, you know, Wednesday, I know it's going to get spicy. Like,
Yeah.
Friday, you don't
They're
get a
nurturing.
chance to even think, because his flows are amazing. Like his vinyasa flows, like you don't get hit a beat, like you're never in your mind. And then
Yeah.
it's fab. But they asked me to cover before, being like, oh my God, Emma, you should come in here. But yet again, that little voice inside my head, oh my God, you're going to be the biggest yoga teacher in there. What are you even going to talk about?
Oh my God.
So that has replayed. And I was
Yeah.
like, no. But I wasn't in that space to teach. But then I'm in this place where I'm like, there's no time like the present time. Why
No.
can't
And
you
you'll
just
never
wing
be
it and
fully
do it?
ready.
Yeah, and it's just accepting it as well and making
Yeah.
it your own niche. So even when you said that to me as well, I have been offered, and I'm like,
Maybe this is your sign to say yes next time if you're free. You know?
I know. And
Yeah.
that's it, because we all have our own styles, our own
Yeah.
vibe. And I always thought when you are a wellness coach, a yoga teacher, whatever it is you want to be, you can't have crack, you can't curse, you can't be yourself. You have to
You
just
can't
sit
have a
there.
wine.
You can't have a wine, exactly. But I thought I had to be all, let's be one with the source.
No,
But
you have
now-
to just be yourself.
This is it.
And
where
like
I've
we all
learned-
do have a yoga voice. Like when I can't
So
help
do
but put
I.
my
I
yoga
have my
voice on,
calm voice.
but I will laugh and I'll have the crack with
Yeah.
you, and I will, like, if I'm putting you under pressure and you're like, holy shit, what are we doing? Like, I'm going to crack a joke. And I think that's what
yeah.
makes you.
Yeah.
And I think the best thing you can be as a yoga teacher is yourself. Like, there's no other Emma like you. It's, you know, there's only one Emma Kyo. There's only one Maura. And I think when people do that, and I think all the yoga teachers that I know or people in the wellness space that I hear of are the ones that are themselves.
And I think that's really important. Authenticity and being yourself, especially within the industry we're both in as well, is for years we thought that you had to be, obviously I love being whimsical and go around in a kimono and just be like so calm, where now it's really changed how you can be yourself and your own entity of all versions of you. and still have a brand and show up
Yeah.
for that as well.
100%. And this
It's
is
marrying the two of them together.
100%. It's so funny because like I have a business and you have a business and yourself. And I went through this little stage last year, was like, okay, I need to switch off my business and me. Like I have to separate them. For a year,
Yeah.
I was battling,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I've
big
just come to
time.
terms that I am one. Sometimes I'm your entrepreneur, sometimes I'm your Zen yogi, and sometimes I'm just a couch potato, you know, and this is who I am.
Yeah.
And like, you don't have to work on like, you know, it's obviously so healthy. We all need to switch off, but it's very hard to separate it when you are like your brand, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're all versions. And that's one thing I used to have.
We're all of the above.
We are all of the beauty. Gosh, giving us the plug, guys. And that's the thing I struggled with for a long, long time. I thought I could only be, if I'm
I'm going
getting
to
into
ask you
the
to
wellness
cover in
game.
my studio now. Look at that.
Namaste.
Yeah.
Welcome.
They'll love you.
And yeah, because I done breath work as well. And
Yeah.
I'm a Reiki healer. I'm a mindfulness teacher, all that as well. But I did all that for me.
Yeah.
And now I am that energetic self like you. But then I'm like, let's come back down. We're going to relax.
Yeah, I feel like
have
now that you've done the
voice.
work, you're ready to share it with others.
Yeah, no, I'm
Yeah.
really at that place as well. Like yourself, we're just confident in our own beings and content with ourselves, but it does take time.
It does,
Honestly, it's like a
yeah.
stint that I've done, I'm telling you now. And then how do you find balance in the pace that you're in right now? So you traveled to Sri Lanka, you had your break. How do you find that? Because you are the face of your brand. You're doing yoga on the beach. You're doing retreats out through your arse, which is amazing. But like you're constantly switched on in this really
And
high
I
vibrational
am.
energy.
And like I'm a bit of a psycho, really, actually.
you're not.
The reason
You're
why
a
I do
go-getter.
yoga is because I'm mental. That's why. No, do you know what? Balance. This is like something that I'm constantly working on, right?
Same.
And like I have to say, the way it is and the way I am is that like I will work my arse off for a period. And then I'll know that, okay, I'm going to have a break coming here. Every day I have balance in, non-negotiables. I have to have my walk. I have to do my yoga. If I don't do that,
Yes,
I'm
the same as you.
I'm absolutely mental. And I have to do that. But, you know, for me, I feel like the fact that you can get so caught up in the rat race and you're going. Like, I don't need to answer an email at 11 p.m. Like, I don't need to. But sometimes I will, which is ridiculous. So it's like setting boundaries for yourself. So 2026 is my year of boundaries for me, right? Because I'm the problem. It's not other people.
Hi, I'm the problem. It's me.
Literally. So I think balance for me is something I'm honestly still working on.
Yeah.
It's up and down. But when I see like my friends that are working in corporate and working for other people, like I can't complain because I have got balance compared to them, you know, my practice. I would love more balance.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about you, but the way I've kind of worked it, like Christmas, I don't have kids. So it's a time where yoga is quiet. I don't schedule any retreats. I feel like it's a time where people like to go out, meet their friends, have a few drinks. So December, I shut down. I don't work. I do have my online studio running, but I pre-record. I have the team there. So I've taken 3.5 weeks off for December. And that's what I do. End of the year, I switch off, I recharge, and now I'm raring to go for the horse, the giddy up, year of the horse. So it's like, you know, and sometimes I say,
It's ebb and flow.
absolutely. And like, I think it's something that Denise Kennyburn was saying before, that like, before her husband got his illness, you know, they would go on a holiday, and then you get on a holiday and you're so wrecked because you're going so hard.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to do that now. And I'm trying not to get to a stage where you need a holiday, right? Because we all need a holiday. But you know that stage where you're so exhausted, where you just have to get away. And I'm trying to find the balance in the small things.
Yes, I love that. And then to wrap it up and finish off, because we could be here talking
I know.
for ages. If you were to give advice to your younger self, what would it be and why?
Oh God, I would say stop dieting. Stop dieting. That would probably be the biggest thing. And like, you know, if you asked me this a couple of years ago, there's probably, you know what, maybe stop having a boyfriend. I always had boyfriends.
So did I. I
I
learned
think
the
it's
most
a
from being
Cancerian
single.
thing. Like I was always in a relationship, and I always say to my
Yeah.
husband, I didn't have enough single time.
Yeah.
I did have some single time before him, that being said, I wouldn't have got to him if I didn't have that. So like if you're in a relationship and you know it's not going to work, like I did with all my ex relationships, just get out of it.
Honestly.
But then also maybe that you learn from that. But I would say get off the diet, eat your food. Everything tastes better than skinny.
Yeah. I love it. Thank you so much. And for anyone to follow you and get up to date on what you're up to, where can they go?
Yoga with Maura. Very original. Namaste.
Namaste, babe. Thank you.